What's up, guys? Here it again, back with another video. And today I want to talk about something that I have yet to hear anybody really go into, as important as it is. And that would be having the proper medical supplies in your truck. Now, needless to say, every day you're not going to wake up feeling great. Every day is not going to be perfectly smooth. There may be some days where you're feeling a little bit under the weather, or some days where you have some kind of minor injury, scratch, scrape, something like that you need to get dealt with. Now, if you leave something like that untreated, it can really throw you off during your day. But with that being said, you can't easily just stop at a pharmacy or a grocery store to pick up medical supplies to deal with those things. Having a huge semi truck is a bit of an issue for that. So you're better suited, and it would behoove you to create your own medical kit to keep in the truck with you. So when you need it, you have access to those things. And this video is not about being paranoid, thinking something's going to happen to you, but it's about being prepared. So if something does happen to you, you can address it and take care of yourself and keep the ball rolling and keep going down the road and making that money like you want to. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's going to be a good video. Now let's walk through each item, what it's for, and why you need it. Starting off with number one, we have Band-Aids. Band-Aids should be a core item of any medical kit. From paper cuts to scrapes you may get while chaining up, bandages are a must. I keep a variety of bandages in my medical kit in various sizes. These are just some standard, finger-sized bandages, that you could wrap around your finger, or, a smaller cut. But definitely one of the most important items that you can have in your medical bag. Number two, pain relievers. Now, from the long hours sitting in the truck seat could lead to back pain. You could have headaches from potential stress or any other issue like that. Even toothaches, if you have pain relievers, that can help to take the edge off and allow you to still function, until you can have those issues addressed. Number three, antibiotic ointment. A small cut can get infected, very quickly in a dirty place. If you're picking up steel like a lot of flatbedders do, there's a lot of dirt, a lot of rust. There's a lot of nasty places that we have to go to. And if you have some kind of wound, that nastiness can get in there. Leave that the way it is. You can get that infected very quickly in an environment like that. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you are cleaning the wound, and you put some of this on it, to prevent yourself from getting any kind of nasty bacterial infections. Very important. Number four, liquid skin, aka liquid bandages. This stuff is great for sealing minor cuts, especially on your hands where some band-aids may not stick very well. You can get this to seal that wound up after you've cleaned it. Number five, tweezers. Now, if you've gone to a lumber yard and you've picked up, how easily you can get a splinter if you're not careful. Especially if you're somebody that does not like to wear gloves, which I don't know why you would put yourself at that risk. Tweezers are definitely extremely handy to have, whether it's for splinters, for glass, or heck, even, if you find a tick that's somehow managed to bite into your skin. These are extremely handy. When you need them, you need them. Number six, wound sealing powder. Now, this stuff is great if you have cut yourself pretty badly and you've got like a gash basically, and it's something that's free flow bleeding, and you want to go ahead and stop the blood flow. You can go ahead and clean the wound and pour some of this stuff on there and put a little bit of pressure on it. It'll help to basically make a artificial scab to stop the blood flow. Definitely very, very, very handy to have in the event that you need something with that intensity. Number seven, isopropyl alcohol. Now, this stuff is fantastic. It's one of the most important medical items that you can have in your kit. You can use it to disinfect surfaces. You can use it to sanitize a wound, or even clean your hands if you don't have soap and water available. It's multi-purpose and it's cheap. And I'm sure if the world ever collapsed again, this stuff would be more valuable than gold. Now, the first 7, or the majority of the first 7, had to do with treating external issues, primarily injuries and pain. Now, let's talk more about internal treatment for your medical kit. So number 8 will be electrolyte tablets. Now, electrolyte tablets help to replace the fluids and minerals lost through sweating, which is very, very important, especially in the warm weather months, spring and specifically summer. If you're working outside in the heat, you're going to be sweating a lot. You're going to be losing a lot of salt out on your skin, and you need to replenish that. Otherwise, you could have some issues, heat stroke. You're going to overheat. It's going to be a very bad day if you don't have these things addressed. So electrolyte tablets, you can have these. You could also get the powder. And there are also some sports drinks where you can get that as well, but the tablets will give you a direct dose to your system. Number 9, cough drops. Now, as the name implies, these are good for helping you to reduce a cough, as well as helping to reduce throat pain, especially if you get the cough drops that have eucalyptus oil or menthol or honey, something that's going to help to soothe that pain and, help you to just not struggle and labor every time you have to inhale air through your mouth, at least for a little bit, to give you some relief. Now, number 10, I don't actually have with me in my truck, and nor do I have number 11, actually. I need to go ahead and stock up at the store. But number 10 would be a decongestant. Now, anybody who has ever had a head cold and has had their sinuses close up on them and tried to go to sleep at night, you understand how much of a horror show that is, not being able to breathe when you are trying to sleep at night, and then breathing through your mouth while you're asleep and waking up with a sore throat, which is exactly what those cough drops at number 9 would be very, very useful for helping. So you want to make sure that you have a decongestant of some sort, whether that's a liquid medication or, a pill, whichever you choose. But make sure you have that in your truck so that you can actually breathe through your nose as best as you can and not try to struggle through, especially the nighttime. I'm talking through personal experience if you can't tell, but especially through the nighttime, trying to sleep with your sinuses closed up on you and you have no option but to breathe through your mouth and wake up in the morning with a sore throat. And then number 11 would be an expectorant. So if you have some type of sinus infection and the mucus has drained down from your sinuses down to your chest and your vocal cords have that phlegm wrapped around them and you're coughing, which would lead back to the cough drops again, helping with that. But you want to be able to spit out that phlegm and get that out of your chest. Otherwise, you're going to be hacking and coughing, and everybody who's had a chest cold knows exactly what I'm talking about and how much that sucks dealing with that. So definitely have an expectorant of some sort in your truck. It'll help break up the chest congestion. And if you're coughing hard, it'll help to clear that stuff out of your chest, give you a little bit of relief. Much welcome relief, trust me. Vapor rub. Now, vapor rub is primarily used as a topical cough suppressant and analgesic. So you would apply it to your chest or your throat or under your nose to help reduce coughs and soothe minor muscle aches or joint aches. It would go in tandem with the decongestant or the expectorant. You would rub this on your chest, or you rub some under your nose to help clear your sinuses, and you would be breathing this in. It would give you some relief, and it can also help to clear your airway through your nose. If you put a little bit of this into your nose, at least that's what I do. And that'll help you get a little bit more relief and hopefully be able to breathe better through the night. I haven't really used this stuff very much, really at all, to soothe any muscle aches. I use something else for that, but like I said, this is one of the listed uses you could apply this for. So definitely very handy to have. And finally, number 13, a pain relief balm. Now, I know I said previously that the vapor rub is supposed to provide a similar effect to this, but I've always used the vapor rub for the sinus applications, that and the chest to be able to breathe better. And I've used the pain relief balm for the muscle or joint aches if I ever experience any. And this stuff, it has ingredients in it, one of them being menthol. And the menthol will actually give you a cooling sensation as well as a warming sensation. It also has a methyl salicylate in it that also aids with that to help you to relax those aching areas. And this can be really good if you have a physical job. I don't know, you tweaked your back or your knee or something like that. This can give you a little bit of temporary relief until you can get yourself somewhere, to take a hot water bath or soak or things like that I would do if I had experienced some pain like in the past. But this stuff is good to give you that temporary relief, like I said, to help you continue to function while you need to until you get some time to rest and fully recover. Well, here we are, guys. I have placed all of the medical items that I previously listed right here. As you can see, it's not a whole lot of stuff, but it's definitely core items that are very, very useful when you need to have them. And I keep all of these things minus the balm bottles here and the pain reliever. I keep everything else and the alcohol, but I keep everything packed in this small baggie right here. And these are the larger quantities of those items that I have. So it's very handy to have. It's not going to take a whole lot of space from you. And when you really think about this, you need to realize that your health is your livelihood. If you get sidelined because of a headache, a bad cut, or a cold gone wrong, you're not just uncomfortable, you're potentially off of the road. This kit costs less than a tank of fuel, and it takes up next to no space and gives you a serious edge when something unexpected hits. In the description below, I've dropped a link to my Amazon store where you can find this list of items in my Amazon store of the vast majority of these medical supplies. If you are looking to build a medical kit for yourself, I highly suggest you prepare in some sort of way to have something if you ever encounter any of these issues. That way you can treat yourself, at least on a small scale, while you're on the road and not able to immediately go to a doctor or a pharmacy and purchase these items. It would behoove you to have them on your truck with you. So like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below, and I may put a card in the video as well, and you will be able to find these items and get yourself stocked up. Well, that's about it, guys. Be safe, be ready, and take care of yourselves out there. If this video helped you, make sure you drop a like below and subscribe if you want to see more trucker tips and tools. And if there is a specific item that's in your kit that I did not go over in this video, leave it in the comment section below. I'd be interested in hearing about it and maybe adding it to my kit. But until the next time, guys, I appreciate you all watching. As always, I'll see you all further down the road. Hear it out.